Hello, today's video is about the rich and exciting history of Arsenal Football Club. The beginning of Arsenal Football Club can be traced back to 1886 with the creation of Dial Square Football Club started by workers in Woolwich. The club would eventually adopt the name Royal Arsenal the next year. They continued to play within London, even picking up local silverware. They would eventually become the first London club to turn professional in 1891. In 1893, they would also become the first London club to join the Football League, starting out in the second division before getting promotion. Later, businessmen Henry Norris and William Hall would become involved in the club and relocated across the river to the Arsenal Stadium in Highbury. Once moved, Arsenal started drawing talent with the likes of Huddersfield manager Herbert Chapman in 1925 and the signings of many new players. Due to this, the club would eventually be given the nickname the Bank of England Club. Eventually, Chapman would win Arsenal their first major trophy, winning the FA Cup in 1930. This followed winning the league next 2 seasons, though sadly in 1933, in the middle of the season, Chapman died of pneumonia. The club would be left with Joe Shaw and George Allison, who would win the 1933 season, the 1934 season, the 1936 FA Cup, and the 1937 season. Due to World War II, the league was called off and Arsenal would sadly lose 9 players in the war, the most of any professional club in the country. Though Arsenal persevered and in the 1947 season won the league. Again, they would win their 3rd FA Cup in 1950 and their 7th league title in 1952. Though in the 70s, Arsenal would see a run-up in form, with them winning the Intercities Fairs Cup, their first European Cup, and would achieve a domestic double winning the FA Cup and the league in 1970. In 1976, Arsenal appointed former player Terry Neal as manager, becoming the youngest manager the club has had at 34. Although the club was unlucky, reaching 3 FA Cup finals and only winning 1, and also losing the European Cup Winners' Cup on penalties to Valencia. After Neal, George Graham was appointed manager and experienced some success, winning their first League Cup in 1987. One of Arsenal's best moments in the history took place under Graham, with them winning the league in 1988 in the final seconds of the final match against Liverpool. This success continued with Arsenal winning the 1990 season, losing only 1 game, winning the League Cup and the FA Cup in 1993, and winning the European Cup Winners' Cup in 1994, their last European title. Eventually, a Premier League inquiry found that Graham was guilty of accepting a £425,000 bribe by a Norwegian agent for the signing of players he represented. Graham would later be served a 1-year ban from the FA. Graham would also later manage Tottenham in 1998, winning the League Cup with them. Finally, in 1996, Arsene Wenger was appointed manager of Arsenal Football Club. Wenger revolutionized the club with his practices and the signings of key players like Patrick Vieira, Thierry Henry, Robert Pires, C.S. Fabregas, and many more. With the club, he won 2 FA Cup and League doubles in 1997 and in 2001, won the 2003 and 2005 FA Cup, and his greatest achievement, becoming the 2nd English team in history to win the league without losing a single match. Despite all this success, Arsenal never achieved European glory. They reached the final in 2005, but were beaten 2-1 by Barcelona. Arsenal would later win 3 more FA Cups with Wenger, but after the 2017 season, Wenger was essentially pushed out of the club by the board. After Wenger's departure, not much occurred. Emery had a time at the club but was sacked in 2019. Mikel Arteta was the manager who took over and won a 14th FA Cup, but also finished outside of Europe in 2021. Though everyone knows what happened about the recent season, with Arsenal spending 248 days on top, and then eventually losing it all to Manchester City. It was a good day for my brother. Overall, I do believe that Arsenal will have another good season this year, but after last season, I'm not going to make any prediction for the club. Anyway, thank you for watching. The next video will be about another Premier League club that has experienced some recent success. That would be Aston Villa. That will be coming out shortly. Thank you.